We should bring that back.
I think we may have to do that before the new year.
Let's get into it. 1, 2, 3. Let's get some more. Have your hands. Get some more. Just give some more.
Why, hello, everyone out there in Whiskey Land. Welcome to My Whiskey Den, your favorite public access whiskey review show where craft whiskey is king. Thank you for being with us this evening. Tonight, we're going to roll with some Rolling Fork. I know we said gin. We had you scared. We had you getting excited about it. We're gonna tease you. We're going to tease you and pull that out another week or so. So we're going with some Rolling Fork to have, because we are in the future here. We're trying to get him on the books, right, Mr. Turner Nathan?
We're working with Turner. We've been he's a young father with young children, so
yeah, well, I have an old one that's still a pain.
We're gonna have to record. He likes his family time, and I appreciate
There's
that.
Nothing wrong with
that.
Yeah,
so we're gonna have to record an early show with Mr. Wathen. So.
Which is not a problem whatsoever. But
nah.
I've had these samples here for a while, and I think we should get to them. So
we should.
Before we do, my God, do you want to tell people about the Bar Cart Co-op?
I would love to tell people about the Bar Cart Co-op while we get Morgan online here.
Yes.
Okay. Starting off, there we go. The Bar Cart Co-op is a collection of friends who create content for the whiskey and other distilled spirits public. The Bar Cart Co-op YouTube and Facebook pages have information about upcoming and past special shows, which happen about every quarter. From blind tastings to distiller panels to discussions of special collaborations and the usage of unique grains. The Bar Cart Co-op has educational and fun episodes for your enjoyment. The oldest one in the group is Distillers Talk, which is hosted by Christy Atkinson and Alan Bishop. It is a conversation with people from distilleries and distillery adjacent that gets into deep and sometimes off the rails and back again discussions with their interviews. New episodes arrive at the end of the work week or, like today, at the beginning of the work week. New episode with Dr. Pat. Dr. Pat. Then we have One Piece at a Time Distilling Institute, because if Distillers Talk isn't nerdy enough for you, then this is where you go. Check out this one. This is a show where Alan Bishop answers any questions about distilling and often puts them to the test. It could be individual grains, mash bills, equipment, and methodology. New episodes come out randomly, so subscribe. And then there is the Bourbon Turntable, where they mix the love of music with the love of whiskey. They have conversations with musicians, writers, distillery folks, and common folks like us about music and whiskey. Tune in, releases every Wednesday on all platforms, so tune in on YouTube if you want to see the silky face that goes along with the silky voice. And then there is If You Have Ghosts, You Have Everything, which is a show about the spirits and paranormal among us, as well as the unexplained and the spiritual. Subscribe on Spotify to get all 4 seasons. And last but certainly not least, we have the Whiskey Ring podcast, where our friend David Levine has interviews that are good. He does reviews that are good and well written. He does awards that are well researched and well written. So David does all the things that we do not do. There's Morgan.
Hey.
Hey, now you're up there.
I say we might be well researched. I don't know about the rest of it.
Well, David takes it much more seriously than we do.
Yes, clearly. All right, here we got 2 wonderful Rolling Forks here. One's an Old Fitz, one's a Wild Turkey. Where do we want to start, Mike?
I would just because I have it written down there, I would do the Old Fitz one first.
Oh, really? Son of a bitch. I would have guessed the other way. All right, I'm intrigued. All right, let me get this poured out. Sorry about looking at the top of my head there. I'll pick my head up.
You're fine. I was just saying hello to everybody.
No, I'm just talking about me. I looked up and saw that. A little bald spot on the top. That's not what I should be showing everyone.
We've all got one somewhere. All right.
Looks like a coif of normal hair. There's nothing there. I don't know what you're complaining about.
I'm sure I can find one. I got skunk scratch though. Okay, so this rolling fork, this is as the all the rolling forks are all single casks, and they are cask strength of the releases that they finished. And this one, this sucker right here.
Oh,
I don't know if you want to.
I
ahead.
will.
Let me block some light. There we go. Wait. There we go.
Oh, she looks pretty.
Oh, it's very pretty. All right, so this one is this is a single barrel pick from my favorite local liquor store, Mike's Liquors. No relation, and not a paid sponsorship. But this is a 9-year-old distilled in Barbados, aka Foursquare. This is finished in an Old Fitz cask. I can give you the cask number if you want it, but it'll mean nothing to you. But this is an Old Fitz wheated bourbon cask coming in at 59.61%.
That's what I was going to say. That's a little heavier for a rum, so that's neat to see. I like that it's already nine years old before you started playing with it. That's a little deep for a lot of rums. I don't mean a lot, but I mean.
Well, as we find out when we talk with Turner down the road here, there's they have a lot of they got, aside from these around 9-10-year-olds. I mean, there's some that are twice that old, just in the rum category. Everything that I've had from there has been really good. Even the fun story one, which I won't say it here to ruin it. We'll wait for Turner, but the famous Fortuitous Union.
Very true.
Yeah. And even I can't. Oh, what's the base one called? I don't remember. It's just a very nice light rum. It's just a rum. It's not finished in any of the casks.
And that's all right. But like I was gonna say, with like some of the rums, I don't know. Once you plantation, other ones, once you get to like this 9, 10 to like you were saying 20, or you get some bold expressions more than you were expecting in some of the younger ones, and you just, I don't know, you just don't see a whole lot of like mid-range. You know what I mean? There's not like a 4 or 5 year rum that I see out very often. It's all longer weight.
Yeah, and I mean, you know,
I'm sure they're married.
I'll be honest with the base one, and you know, of course, if there was anyone in the chat who's really good with the keyboard that would know this, I cannot remember the name of their base rum, but their base rum, I mean, it's a $30-ish bottle of rum, and it's good, but it's going to be on par with your better Bacardis and some other stuff. Now, you're not going to out compete on price with Bacardi. No. You're just not going to do it, because you know. But for a rum that was much less complex than these, it still had more of a presence than a Bacardi or a Captain Morgan.
Well,
you know, but
like when we had that Havana Club, where it's got just a whole.
It was great
spin for what you're getting on it. It's a heck.
And these, I've been. These are both at about half. So, but I am going to bake with both of these.
Oh, I'm almost thinking the other one might be more of a baking one with the wild turkey side on it. But...
You know, I'd wait to. I'm going to do it with both.
Okay.
But I'm going to at least put aside like 4 ounces of each one, and then have them labeled and just use that as the vanilla, and then just enjoy these. So anyway, what do you guys think? I was fortunate enough. So again, these were barrel picks from a local place that I'd gotten. Turner came to town, and they did a tasting, and he was saying that this place they'd had a knack for picking out some of his favorite barrels, and it wasn't a sales pitch at that point, but they were early on board with getting Rolling Fork, and they've got a good distributor who understands that, hey, different is good. And they were all singing the praises of the distributor, which was good to hear. The distributor was present, which was really good. And Turner was telling some of the stories of coming across these and how they finished them, and some of his family history, which we will get into when we talk with him. So,
Okay.
Emily, it's it's the Heart of Gold rum. That's their base. It's lower proof, which is still like 50%, but Heart of Gold is the name of it.
Interesting. Okay.
So, what do you got there, Morgan?
This is butterscotch to me. Butterscotch, vanilla, caramel. This is real nice. This is very, very sweet.
Oh.
Yes.
But then there's just that weird, tiny hint of dirt that
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's a little tiny funk in there too.
Yep.
A little bit of black earth.
Mm-hmm.
I get the funk, and I get there as a. I was kind of attacking it from almost knowing there was Old Fitz in it, because part of it smells like you can tell it's almost like rounded down, but it's hard to find necessarily all of the Old Fitz character in it per se.
Yep.
Yeah.
The rum, but you can tell that it, hits. I don't want to say it knocked down the edges, but you can tell it rounded out the cask or the whiskey at this point. Hold on a second.
This nose is lovely. Almost even has some like floral notes too that are kind of coming into play.
Yeah, it's got some good floral and citrus that I like.
It's a toffee note for me rather than caramel. I was having a hard time getting it in. A little bit of banana bread.
I could definitely see that. I was thinking of using this in banana bread, as a matter of fact.
Ooh, there it finally. Maybe I have a little bit of clogged nose. It finally opened up there on this. And I get there's a type of a light hint of a mint, but I can't. It's not sharp enough. It's like a dulled down spearmint with a buttered with like Werther's candy. Wow, both of my nostrils are giving me different things right now.
Yeah.
Like I lean to the one side and I'm getting one, and I'm coming back to the other, and I'm like getting not a unified combo of smells. Like
the Werther's is a good one. What I found for me anyway, that with a lot of rums, you can get just the overwhelming sugar, not molasses, but sugar, where you're like, oh, this is sugar sweet. It's there, but it's not the most present thing on the nose. There are things that, for me, there are things that are sweet on the nose, but it is not sugar sweetness that is on there. Does that make sense?
You mean like, I get what you mean. Like, I don't want to like kind of like backfilled sugar where it's like, here,
right.
This is like
I'm not smelling. I'm not smelling sugar. I am smelling things that are sweet, but I'm not smelling sugar.
It's kind of that, like, the old, like, hand-spun taffy. It's kind of giving me almost that. Like, but, like, when it's first, like, pulled, like, before it's actually put in the thing that, like, spins it. I don't know if you've ever seen, like, that whole process of where it's all, like, pulled and whatnot.
Yeah.
But it's... Like when they
grew up in Iowa, I saw some taffy pulled.
But when it's that like first, right before they put it, that big lump of it, right when they're putting it on the thing that pulls it, like in that candy shop, it's like a rich sweetness, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
From the rum side of things on the nose, it's not a spiced rum. I mean, where obviously people think Captain Morgan rum, spiced rum, that's rum. On the nose, I don't lean into any of those notes per se. This is all warmer, rounded, buttery, toffee, smooth, no spikes.
This is meant to drink, not to throw in with your Coke. I mean, this is, as a lot of the Rolling Forks are, they're bourbon lovers rums.
Yes.
Mm.
All right, good. I'm gonna go.
So that first sip was tasty.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I like the buttered toffee thing. Toffee almost is like butter layered on top. Then it drizzles into and through a banana bread with walnut in it, and it gets, for all that talking there, it's still kind of chewy right now in my mouth. Like I don't want to go overly viscous, but it feels like I'm working through it.
Totally get the walnut. Just that nutty flavor in general.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely a walnut, pecan, something along like a dessert nut.
Like caramelized nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But on the back half, it itself, maybe a little bit of the ABV, brightens up for me. It doesn't stay deep. It's almost thicker the first 2/3, and then starts to lighten up, and it's not dry. I'm salivating quite a bit from this one, rather than being like dried out.
Yeah.
It's like one of those pills they put on the internet.
But proof wise, I mean, it's just a hair under 60. It does not drink that proof. I mean, the proof does come back. I mean, there's a point where you're just like, oh, this has got a little bit of alcohol to it, but
that's more on.
It's highly drinkable.
Yeah, I feel it more in the finish at the end where you're like, there was something in
much
there.
more. Yeah.
But that brings it back to being like, oh, in the most lovely way. Oh, really salivating? Now finally starting to dry? Sounds like I need another drink.
I definitely get the banana bread like on the back end of this. In the flavor profile. I get the fruit. And I know this is also going to sound really weird, but my grandmother used to make the most amazing oatmeal raisin cookies. And she'd always use like a rum instead of vanilla when she would make them. And
I like your grandma.
I think that's why this is like spot on of like what she would make. Because I'm getting that like oatmeal raisin kind of cookie vibe too, that like raisin flavor.
I can see that.
I see that.
Like a very moist oatmeal raisin. Oatmeal raisin raisin cookie. Dear God.
Right where I was saying it kind of brightens up, where I get a little bit of like almost an orange zest for a second, where it starts to like feel a little bit more of like the heat, where it transitions. I get a little bit of something bright. Ooh, the nose is different coming back now. It's a little richer.
I get after I've gone back into it a couple times, I get more of citrus on the palate, like the acidity with the proof. It's like I just had something with some lemon or lime.
Yeah, that's like that's when it starts to dissipate or air hits there.
We did, and I'll tell you when because I've had some of their stuff before. I'd bought in a couple bottles off Seal Box, tasted some of the stuff at Bourbon on the Banks a couple years ago, and when he came to town, he did a tasting, and I want to say there were 8 that we did the tasting on.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a nice tasting, and he's Turner's he's fun and colorful.
All right.
Because he said, since we're in enough time, he was talking, and it was at this at a community center at an Episcopalian church, and so he was, which is where it was being held, and so he was talking, and he kind of let a couple of words fly, and I would ask the Ewalds and Mr. Robinson to chime in, because I know that they've been around Turner as well, but he just finally stopped, and he just goes, "You guys care if I fucking cuss?" Because I'm not around my kids, and it's my favorite thing to do. Yeah. By then, he'd already let it go, and then after that, everyone was just like, whatever. And then it was just like, okay, good. And he just, yeah, it was fun. Anyway, so yeah, what do you guys think overall?
Big fan.
Yeah,
this is lovely.
It's like, and I will say, yeah, I will say this is, oops, let me find it here. Yeah. These are all like around $75 for these bottles.
Okay.
It is a single barrel cask strength rum that's finished. So if you want your rum at a lower proof,
you can fix that yourself.
You can fix that yourself, and your bottle just lasted longer. So
and it is for being almost 60%. I'd say it drinks 35 or below. Really, like that goes in like nothing.
Yeah, but even still, though, I don't think you could pour a large glass of this. I mean, I think you could. Yes, you certainly could. No one would stop you from doing that. But if you were going to sit down with this, I really don't think you would sit down with 2 or 3 ounces of this.
Oh no, not
just because it's
start off with like 1, and as it goes.
Yeah.
What would you make as a drink with this? I know you wouldn't touch it, but I was gonna say it's a little more subtle. So I was trying. A mojito.
I mean, I think in something like a mojito, or I was even thinking if you made a rum old fashioned.
Yes. That's what I was getting ready to say.
Well, I get the depend. Yeah, you can add a little bit of flavors to it. Sorry,
I think it'd be a pretty good old. I mean, you wouldn't have to add any. You certainly wouldn't have to add any sugar to it. But can you imagine this as a smoked rum old fashioned?
Sounds weird. I was almost thinking of it in like a brandy Alexander instead of like a ice cream drink. Kind of substituting that. I'm like, I like the depth of where that is, and I think it just has that. Like you said, it's a subtle sweetness to it. It's not the overwhelming sugar, and I think that would be a neat addition.
And there we have the champion, the queen. All hail!
Yes,
it's always the right answer.
The Kingston that growing. I'm going to say yes.
Yes.
All right, who's next here? Wild Turkey? Because I'm intrigued to maybe go back and forth here.
The bottle looks basically identical. It is also a single barrel pick from Mike's. The only difference is this is also a 9-year-old Barbados 4-square, finished in an Austin Nichols Wild Turkey cask, and comes in at 58.71.
Very, very similar. About a point off.
Just a hair off.
Way different for me on the nose. I get dusty barn right away coming in, just dusty corn more so.
Yeah, it's dustier.
Whew. That's neat. Hold on here. Wow. It's just the other one was so subtly sweet. This is like a whole different realm.
It could be a bourbon.
Yes. Sniffing the nose, you could think it wouldn't be that route. What if it was wet? You know what I mean? Like how much was in there when they got it? Because It has a lot of that.
I'd be surprised if it was really wet, because if it was
I
an
doubt
Austin
it.
Nichols cask,
Yeah, but it imparts a lot to it. And even some of the rye notes that I want to say it's like a little bit of a pickly note on that side of my nose. Hey, that's deeper in there. Sorry, there's a lot going on and it's thick.
Yeah. There's definitely like I hate to use this word, but I don't know what other word to use right now. There's almost like a pungent smell to this. This definitely is a kick to the face. It's not polar opposite of the other one.
You know what you mean by pungent, more like aggressive and
Yeah.
like bold, but I'm not getting like weird cheese. Sometimes when I think pungent, I think like weird, funky cheese.
oops.
Okay.
I think aggressive is a good way to put it.
And it's almost a little hard to find the rum behind it. Like it's because, like you said, Mike, like some of the notes are very overlapping, where you get caramel, toffee, other things like that, and the vanilla notes that come through in bourbon. This is well, you can smell the sugar notes being different than corn, and I think that's its biggest giveaway. But that's about it.
It's almost creamed corn on the nose.
Yeah, but there's a dark like
a smoked cream corn.
smoked cream corn, but like a molasses sugar note under it. But that's not baked. That's not the smoked part. Where you're saying like that. Well, there's a lot of weird shit going on here now. Holy crap! Whoa! So I was like a smelling salt on that side. Holy cow! Ugh. I'm sorry. All right, I'm gonna have a taste of this because I think I'm muddling with it too much. Whoa! Starts off like rum, and then it's like Austin Nichols barrel like shakes the rum to shit. Okay, and then it rounds. The ending is really neat because it is a nice play between the both. But it's like one starts, one jumps up, and then in the finish, they have a neat marry going on. I have to go back for flavors. My apologies. You guys can both go on with your thoughts and notes for a second.
This is wild. And it's delicious.
The front's like vanilla bean extract. It's not the bean, but there's like a hint of vanilla that's prominent. Wow. I like it. Oh. It wants to be rum. But that barrel and the proof just start to spin at one point.
Mm-hmm.
And you can really feel the torque.
Kind of throw something out at you.
And it's...
Would you think this is blind, would you think this is a bourbon finished rum or a rum finished bourbon?
Hold on, I'm going to start over with this.
Bourbon finished.
Not the first one.
Bourbon finished in a rum is what... If you gave this to me blind, I would say bourbon finished in a rum. Not the other way around.
It's only the entry that would make me think it's rum, more so. Like right away, you can feel the nice, like a little bit more rounded sugar note. That's not corn. That's not wheat. But then they start to overlap, and boy, is that. I want to say like the wild turkey. You can taste the wild turkey in it afterwards, like in your mouth afterwards. But it has just this. Like a smoked sugar over the top of it. Like that's not completely smoked corn, but it's just a different layer.
So
Very strong.
the labeling on here, WTRB, I'm assuming that would be a rare breed cask.
That's what the code says. But when I got it, it said it was an Austin Nichols Wild Turkey product.
Okay.
So let me do an investigative thing here while I'm doing this.
Because I would almost wonder with how this is, if it was a rye rare breed cask.
After swishing it around, I'm getting like a cream mixed with sarsaparilla soda. But that was just me like sloshing it around. Damn it, Mike! I have to go back again. Good to see a little old fashioned. I think everyone is doing all right this evening. Okay, coming back the second round on the nose after having it a little bit. Nose softens up a bit, but you still have that dusty corn, dusty barn. I'm going to call it dusty barn with a little bit of corn note in it. That still overlaps that.
All right, so I'm looking as we do this, since these are questions that came in on the fly. The definitive source for all things wild turkey, Rare Bird 101.
Which would make sense with some of this.
And I'm going back to this rare breed. I mean, going back to 2000 for rare breed. That might be a little late for Austin Nichols, because I thought Austin Nichols was more 90s. We can find that. We can find that out for sure and ask. And definitely when we talk with Turner, we will find out exactly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Just because, like you said, you get that.
We like accuracy.
We do like accuracy, but I like to. It's okay to be fooled by your palate sometimes, but it's nice to feel right too. You know what I mean? It's nice to be back to like, oh hey, all right. You know, like. Plus, I bet there's been a couple times where someone said something and my response was bullshit. I don't believe you. You go look, you're like, I'll be damned.
Yeah.
All right, here. So
I can't believe it just goes to show like how you can take something and how a barrel can completely jack things up and make it completely different, right?
Alter. You know, there was a different single barrel anyways, but still from Foursquare. And
yeah.
You know what's weird? We had a guy on a few months ago who talked about a bunch of barrel stuff. He was real nerdy.
Yeah.
And I mean, and to be honest, lately a little flaky, but he seemed to have some good information.
That's true.
Yeah, he's been a little flaky in general right lately. So
Heard French pisses a lot of water.
I did do the blend in case you're wondering.
I just did it right now, and I'm spinning around to see what we got of this because I want to get a little mix going and a little aeration before I go in here on it.
But yeah, these are. I have not had a single thing from Rolling Fork that I have not said, "Oh, that was good," or wasn't good. Everything's been really good.
This is a weird blend. knocks down the dustiness coming in, but it's still in there.
Oh,
Maybe pushed back to a third.
yeah.
This almost smells like a. It's like a whiskey with a high malt.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Smells like it smells like a thick sweet bourbon.
Yeah, something that's got exactly a nice deep notes. That raisin note on the nose, almost like a darker plum note too. Chocolatey.
Oh.
A little bit of butterscotch. I get citrus, but I can't tell you what right now.
For citrus, I almost get grapefruit. But like a real, like juicy
Like
grapefruit.
a Malordy grapefruit.
I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, on the left side here, I'm getting a peanut brittle. Oh, excuse me, hold on. I don't know about the drinking, but I feel like maybe sniffing this intensely for this the last 20, 30 minutes may not have been the best idea.
Oh, that's good.
Mmm. Wow. I love that.
Yeah, I like it.
Holy shit. That could have thrown me off with some things we've had this year that tastes, I don't want to say similar to, but on par with. Like that combo could be like whiskey of the year. It has that Wild Turkey put the barrel end on that to make you think something different if I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow. It's like chocolate covered.
And there's like on the finish, there's like that cola note comes out, or not comes out. The cola note is created on the finish of this, where it wasn't on those two individually. There's just that it hits, and then it's proof and citrus on the finish. A lot of proof.
And like you said, cola, it's like cola. And for me, you almost take cola and hidden underneath is like a hint of like sarsaparilla note. But it's not like a sarsaparilla thing. It's just there's more cola, but it's like got a little,
like
almost like you got this, like you got a soda out of the stupid machine at McDonald's, or whatever. That like just dulls it down just a little bit. So it's like, no, but you got a little bit hidden underneath it. This is a really good blend.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, everyone. You know what you need to go get? These two bottles.
Go look up Rolling Forks. You can actually purchase online. They ship out of District of Columbia. Like you can go to their website and buy stuff. You can also go to Seal Box and get Rolling Fork. If you're lucky, you get a distributor who has some brains in your area, who sees the need for carrying stuff like this.
As you should with Rums. I mean, let's be honest. When you step outside of Captain Morgan, what rums do?
But
rums do you guys?
This ain't Bacardi. It ain't Captain. It ain't the other stuff. It's also not Foursquare. I mean, it is Foursquare, but it's a little different than that. He starts with good rums and then works from there.
Wow, sounds like a wonderful plan.
Yeah. Well, it seems to be working.
Sounds like the backbone of a good plan that some people don't always follow. But here it's working out great. So, well, I'm looking forward to having them on because these two were great. The blend was, I'm kind of taking a step back at that at the moment, but the complete difference you could pull between them, that's fantastic. And having the ability to think that way with what you're doing and knowing where you're going, and I'm surprised that you took Foursquare and went this way and that way so much between those two. I mean, I'll be more honest. It's the Wild Turkey's finish that just grabbed a hold so much that
Yeah.
on the nose, but on the taste, it's there. But I mean, like the nose is where it like really takes hold. But this chocolate combo of everything is. Oh.
It's like a chocolate covered raisin that's also dipped in caramel and toffee for me.
I'll tell you something that we did a few weeks ago. We did our own little Rolling Fork tasting, but we had 3 different Rolling Forks, and I had brought a Jack Daniel's single barrel proof rye, and so we thought, well, let's make our own Fortuitous Union.
Oh,
yeah. So we tried it. We did the Rolling Fork Rum with single barrel proof rye, and it was a high powered Fortuitous Union, and it was quite nice.
gave you a little kick there.
Mm.
Did you say it was a barrel proof Jack Daniel's rye?
Single barrel proof rye.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
At least it's becoming more available for people, and I'm still.
Not for me.
No.
I found it in Kentucky this summer. Just happened to not in Kentucky, just over the border in Indiana, and went in there, and it was like all over the shelf.
Okay.
And it was like $65.
Well, yeah, that's the problem. Well, I don't want to say the problem, but I'm going to say, because it hasn't happened yet, one of the best single barrel most affordable single barrel programs that is high quality for what you're getting for the price. There's not many places you're getting a single barrel for $55-$65 anymore. And it's good. I don't want to say they're getting to the point where it's like the Jameson thing with me, but I don't know. Old Number 7 just doesn't. I don't know. I understand that you need to have a whiskey for the masses, I guess. But then when you taste some of the other things people can do or have been laying around or been able to put together, and you're like, holy shit, come on.
Yeah.
Let's just do this.
Mm.
Oh, right.
So good.
All right.
Making a note here.
But let's see here. We have a couple of shows in the works coming up here. And if you're going to be in Green Bay on November 24th, I think I have to fully clarify I've gotten the okay from one half, but there may be an Ironwood tasting before a Packer game by the parking lot, which if I were in town, I know I would show up to wander through and have the samples. So we'll keep people updated on that because it's.
I'm not going to be in town.
You can come. You can make a trip. You can speak.
I can't take that. I can't take any time off that week except for the given time.
Oh, you're one of those ones. Yeah, that's fair.
Well, somebody else is taking that time off because I'm taking off basically
Christmas.
the last half of December. I have to burn the days or I lose the days. So
when they do that to you, that's what happens.
I don't have a choice. You're not getting them back.
That's the point where you look at them like, are you sure you just don't want to pay me out a week and we'll figure out the other week? And they're like, nope. I'm like, okay, then see you later.
Yep. See ya. I'm out.
So Nebraska is one of the 3 states in the country that if you are salary, you're allowed to roll your PTO.
Nice.
Yay, Nebraska.
Yes, yay, Nebraska and that. So.
Huh. Well, la-di-da.
Yeah, it's kind of pumped when I found that. So.
Yeah. Nebraska's not all bad.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say I feel like that's one of those things where if you don't roll it, you either roll it over or you pay it out. There's no in between. Either way, I come out ahead. I don't really give a shit.
Yeah.
Other than that is bullshit. It disappears. No, I disappear.
Yeah.
See you later.
Yeah.
I earned that time off. I put in my time to earn that time off. I'm taking the time one way or another. That's how that works.
Do we get to take bets if you're gone the second half of December that by like the 18th you start getting texts or phone calls from work about, hey, do you know?
Oh, I 100% know that I will. But, and I may, well, of course, who knows? I may, if the weather is okay, I might run over to Kentucky. Because I want to get some of that Bourbon's Bistro eggnog.
Oh, well, yeah, that's not
That's
too bad.
the only way to get it.
Well, I got one little smidge here left before we take off this evening.
I got a big smidge.
You got a big smidge? That's all right.
It's all
I
good.
may have had bigger drinks earlier. I was quite enthralled by this. It does not drink its potency, that's for sure, in any one of the three forms we had this evening. Way under. I'm going to say the Wild Turkey one, more so you could tell. But that's because I think it hit more like you said, hits more like a bourbon than it did a rum.
Yeah.
Especially on the nose at first. But
There was another one that we tried in this group, and I'll just say it because they do a lot of different barrel finishes, and there's a lot of Kentucky barrels. There's Weller finish and other ones like that, but they did a finish of a Starlight vanilla barrel.
oh,
And I will just tell you that when they poured that sucker, I'm like, I think I just found my new favorite vanilla. Because it was, as much as you remember that the Cuban one was a vanilla bomb. This was like super rich vanilla, and it had like vanilla with a little bit of a little caramel to it, and it tasted like that too. But and I still may end up getting a bottle of that because I thought that was for drinking it's just like that's vanilla. But for cooking purposes or for using as an ingredient, even in a cocktail, oh baby.
That's neat because I remember when Starlight had that vanilla one come out from them, and I didn't know they reused it.
Like Starlight has every flavor.
Well, that's what I mean. Like you see it, you're like, yeah, it's like I don't remember, but did they have mango citrus? You're like, probably. They probably.
Yes, banana boat finish and all kinds of other stuff.
I bet.
Not knocking them, they just have a lot of finishes.
Yeah,
can't even begin to imagine how good that was.
I think I remember when I was talking about them at one point, I'm like, I don't know if I've had their normal stuff. Like there was a while there where I was like, I never had their normal stuff. All I ever had was a finished.
Yeah, I've only had two because everything else that I see, it's finished in something. I had a single barrel bourbon pick. And I think actually we did that a long time ago on the show. Mm-hmm. And then there was, I think, another bourbon. But everything else that I see is finished somehow.
Yeah, the ones that I have out of them are fine, good. You know, nothing bad with any of those ones. They all seem to be good with the finished ones I had. But it's just, you know, every now and then you get a company like that where it's like, I don't know what your baseline is. Oh, there was one place in Kentucky that Kevin and I went to. Shit, I can't remember it. And they don't. You would have thought they had stuff there to sell, but it was only for tastings, and you couldn't really. You could only buy like a couple bottles that you could buy anywhere, and I was just a little depressed. That's gonna bug me that I can't remember. It's next to a taco place that's outstanding. Sells habanero margaritas that burnt my lips off, but they were fantastic. I had to finish it. Did you ever have one of those awful things where you're like, oh my god, oh.
This is the worst thing ever. I have to have more.
Yeah.
Yes.
Another big drink. You're like, oh shit, I did it again. Ooh.
It's like, this is horrible, and you can't stop eating it. Yes.
Oh
my god, you should try this. It tastes like hell.
Yeah, it's just the right amount of burning that goes away, and you're like, oh.
Yeah. But that is not Rolling Fork.
No, not at all. No, it has nothing to do with them whatsoever. Sorry, I tangented it off into nowhere.
Oh goodness.
I'd rather had this than tequila in what I had though. So it's got a neat body.
It really, the more that it sits, the better it gets too. The blend is pretty good.
Yeah.
That's right, Emily.
Tasty.
Things like that.
Ooh,
The
Donald's got a Hortons.
Hortons? Damn.
I got to get back up to Canada.
Should that be a trip next year? Go to Toronto.
I mean, well, go to Toronto, and we can also go to
I was thinking Silver Fox. Maybe.
go to the Silver Fox, spend the night.
Yeah,
The offer has been extended.
Remember, we're allowed to sleep there if we bring our sleeping bags.
Yeah, we can sleep in the distillery. Seriously, no, we're not kidding.
No, we're not.
I'm down. I am totally down. Let's do it.
He's a big Doctor Who fan. He's got a couple of different Daleks. He's got a smaller one and a larger one that people ride in at conventions.
That he's made personally.
In anonymity, and it shoots air. He also has Doctor Who fan.
A little bit. So
and he's also got I think he's got a Stargate portal.
Yep.
Definitely got the Doctor Who stuff, but then he got the original molds for Doctor Who's car Bessie, and so he has a Bessie built from the original molds.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he's a nerd.
Wait. Isn't it the HAL 9000 or whatever that answers questions when you ask instead of?
That's what he was making his Alexa be. He was calling her Hal. Yeah.
And like a light would light up.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, Donald. Yeah, Toronto's where I was the last time. We enjoyed it. We to go off the tangent. We stayed across from the tower, Canadian Tower, and then we walked everywhere except for when we drove over to the Niagara Falls, but went up into Kingston and Little Korea, Little Italy, Little China, all that, all of those, walked around all that stuff. It was freaking awesome. Toronto was pretty cool. It was kind of hard coming back.
I mentioned about eating. That's one of those places, like just like you meant walking around. It's like, what's your goal today? To walk someplace to try something else.
We ate. Our goal was to eat at a different place every time that we ate out, except for there was a grocery store that had a really great prepared food that you can get. I mean, you can go there and say, I would like that salmon, and I would like this, and I would like that. And we went there a couple of times, but it was everything else was something different every single time. So it was super cool. Toronto is a cool town. We all dug it.
Hell yeah. I'm excited.
That sounds really cool.
Yep.
It's one of those places like
our neighbors of the north.
Cheers. You said it's close enough to go to Niagara Falls and other stuff when you're in the area. There's a few bit of things you could do if you were there for a week. So
yes, yeah, we were there for the week, and that's the only time we had to venture out. That was actually I'll tell you, we met little Vito up there. It's the first time I got to meet Vito in person, and he had it was the night before we were going to go to Niagara, and he had pulled up had pulled up Waze, and he's like, if you leave by this time in the morning, you'll be there by this time, but you're going to want to leave just after lunch, or you might as well stay there till after dinner to go out. And because this was 5 years ago, but people were using Waze well enough that it did have accurate traffic patterns. In my area, not so much. But up there, he's like, oh yeah, no, it's pretty accurate up here. And he was on the money with all of it, because it took like no time to get over to Niagara Falls. And when we decided we were going to go, we were ahead of a flow. And it was like, holy crap, that was right on. So Canadians, man, nailing it.
Well, look into that. I'd be okay with that. I could handle heading up there. That'd be outstanding. Ooh. Oh, they're fun too.
Yeah.
But
culturally diverse is an understatement for Toronto.
Yeah, that's true. Well, a lot of Canada. There's a few like Vancouver too. A little bit of everything.
Yeah.
All right. Before we get too off topic, it's almost.
Let's start talking about those Canadians again.
Yeah, they just pulled us in. I got to pitch a different trip. I was just talking when I go upstairs now. Hey, it's not a bad. It's a good trip, so I'm not going to argue.
It's not a bad drive. I mean, for us, it was 15-hour drive from Kansas City up to Toronto. It wasn't bad. So,
no,
for you,
we'll
be
see.
a lot less.
Probably, Depends upon where we go. I'd have to see what other
For you, more going to be a little bit more, but
Yeah.
see what a flight.
but
is.
maybe not. No, because you're north. Maybe not. Got to do some planning.
I like it.
All right.
All right, let me spin around here. So let's go. There we go. Just had to find where we were. My computer is doing that laggy bullshit thing again. It's totally awful. But I gotta say, these two we had tonight are really nice rums, really different. Shows a lot of character in both of them. From what I had from Rolling Fork in the past, you can tell that they are a branch off of what they have. I would say the Wild Turkey one's almost masks it on the nose. It's really neat. What they did with these. The more you think about it, and how they manipulated the base for it. So this is great.
Big fan. Big fan.
So
Yes, go buy you some Rolling Fork.
yeah, that's
I think even in their advertising it says Rolling Fork. It's good shit.
to keep up with his language.
Love it.
Sounds like I'll get along with him fine. we haven't had one of those boisterous episodes in quite a while. Been a little tapered in more recent times, so maybe we have to bring that back.
Yeah, it's fun, and he's got a good product. So, or good products, because there's not just the Rolling Fork. There's also a same company, or it's them, the same group, but they've got Rolling Fork is Rums. There's another company, and now it escapes me, but it has some Armagnacs.
Oh,
and I got to try those, and they're really good. And then now they resurrected one of the family labels. Turner's family's got a thick history in Kansas City, in Kentucky distilling, like some big names you've heard of. That's Turner's family. But yeah, they finally brought back Bourbon Deluxe as one of the old brands that they had. So,
that should be interesting with what they're getting out of the rum. It'll be interesting to see what they're doing with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always awesome. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for stopping in. We greatly appreciate it. But remember, it's not the size of the den, it's the love of the whiskey. Cheers, or in this case, rum. Cheers,
Rums.
everyone.
Cheers.